We'll call the January Ridgefield Planning Commission meeting to order. If we could please start with a flag salute, if everyone could please stand. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. If we could start with roll call.
Present. Present.
Present.
Commissioner Moylan?
Present.
Chair Tyler?
Present.
Commissioner Raczek?
Present.
Commissioner Gordon?
Present.
Thank you. And at this time, I believe we'll proceed with the oath of offices for all three of our newest members. I believe if the two that are present, if you wouldn't mind coming and standing in the front.
Okay. I,
Justin Razak.
Heather Gordon.
Commissioner Moylan,
Stephen Moylan,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I am a citizen of the United States
that I am a citizen of the United
and of
States
the state of Washington,
And of the
And
state
the-
of Washington.
that I
And
will
the state of
support the
Washington.
Constitution
That I will
and
support
support the Constitution
of the United States
of the
of the United States
and the Constitution and laws
and the Constitution and laws
of the state of Washington,
of the
and the
state
state of Washington,
and will to the best of my judgment,
and to the best of my judgment,
skill, and ability,
skill and ability.
skill, and abilities,
faithfully and impartially perform
faithfully and impartially perform
the duties of the Planning Commission,
the duties of the Planning Commission,
position number
position number 3.
6.
and Commissioner Moylan, sorry,
Commission number 3?
2,
2, sorry, my bad.
for the city of Richfield,
For the city of Ridgefield,
Washington, as such duties are prescribed by law.
Washington, as prescribed by such duties.
Thank you.
Welcome to all three of the new members. Happy to have you on board.
Thank you.
Looking forward to getting to know you all. Also, since it is the January of an even-numbered year, we are going to be selecting a chair and a vice chair for the next 2 years. So we will start with the position of chair. If anyone has a nomination for the Planning Commission chair, please state your name for the record and who your nomination is.
Chair, this is Commissioner Patrick Flynn. I'd like to nominate Mark Tyler to be the chair for the next 2 years.
Second.
And I will consent to that nomination. Are there any further, Mark Tyler has been nominated for the position of commission chair. Are there any further nominations?
I move that the nominations be closed and we cast a unanimous ballot to have Mark as our chair.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion carries and passes. We will now move to the position of, I guess I'll say thank you all. I appreciate the support and confidence. Looking forward to another 2 years with you. Sorry. And we'll now move to the position of vice chair. Are there any nominations for the position of vice chair? If so, please state your name for the record and who your nomination is.
Commissioner Borkhardt, and I would like to nominate the current, or renominate the current vice chair, Patrick Flynn.
Commissioner Flynn, do you consent to the nomination?
I do.
Thank you. Commissioner Flynn has been nominated for the position of vice chair. Are there any further nominations? Hearing none, since we have one nomination, may I have a motion and a second to nominate Commissioner Flynn as the vice chairperson?
I'll put forth the motion to nominate Commissioner Flynn.
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion? All in favor of the motion, say aye.
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 Any
Abstain. Abstain.
Any opposed, say nay. Hearing none, the motion passes. And Commissioner Flynn will continue as the vice chair.
Thank you for your continued faith in me.
Just as a procedural, since we're maintaining, do we need to do the oath, or do we just carry on? That's what I thought. So, all right, perfect. Ms. Lust, are there any late changes to the agenda?
There are no late changes, thank you.
Okay, and then we will move into our first public comment period for the evening. So now is the time for public comment. Anyone requesting to speak to the commission may request to do so at this time. If you have not provided notice in advance to speak during the public comment period, please use the raise hand feature if you're on the Zoom, and the clerk will send you permission to unmute your microphone so you're able to make your comments. For controls over the phone, please press *9 for raise hand or press *6 to mute and unmute. Is there anybody wishing to make a public comment at this time? Not seeing anybody online. Maybe not yet, maybe for the next period, but we will at this point close the first public comment period. And we will now move to the consent agenda. Has everyone had a chance to review the minutes for the last meeting? And if there are no changes, is there a motion on the same?
Chair, I believe the minutes are reflected accurately. I move to accept the minutes as presented.
Second, Commissioner Borgert.
Thank you. There's been a motion. All in favor of accepting the minutes as presented, say aye.
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 Any opposed? The motion carries. We will now move to business. I will turn the time over to Ms. Lust.
Thank you, Chair Tyler, and thank you to Chair Tyler and Vice Chair Flynn for your continued leadership as well. And of course, welcome to our new planning commissioners who are officially part of the group. Congratulations. The first item on our agenda is an orientation, or for some of you, reorientation to Planning Commission roles and responsibilities. This is just a short presentation. I thought I'd take this opportunity with a number of new members to just go over the basics again, so you're all hearing the same thing from me at once. It's not necessarily going to be any new information, although if there are things that are new to you, that is also, of course, fine. So with that, I'll go ahead and just jump right in, and then when I'm done, we can have a little time for questions if there are any. All right, so our presence here is required under the Growth Management Act. Cities, towns, and counties that fully plan under the GMA are required to have planning commissions. The functions of the Planning Commission are primarily to make recommendations on comprehensive plans and land use regulations, as well as other community development issues. And those recommendations are made to the agency's governing body, which of course in our case is the City Council. The Council directs the Planning Commission's projects and seeks feedback from Planning Commission. More on that in our next agenda item, which is the work program. Y'all are appointed to represent our city at large, not particular interests, although you all come to this group with your own perspectives and backgrounds, and that's very much valued in service of representing the city at large. Again, the primary role of your role with the Planning Commission is reviewing comprehensive plan, amendments to plans, to long-range plans, zoning and development code to the council for approval. Key point here, as you know, your policy advisors, not policymakers. So it is your recommendation to council that is the key objective of your work. Some local governments do use planning commissions to review some kinds of development proposals. We don't. Our development proposals are either reviewed at a staff level administratively, or ones that rise to a certain level of complexity do go to the hearings examiner, who's an independent land use attorney who reviews those cases. So Planning Commission is very firmly in the policy world. The one thing you will see on occasion that's site-specific are zone change requests. All right. We do and are bound to Code of Ethics in state law, as well as the city's Code of Conduct, which is shared between the council and the boards and commissions. Under the state Code of Ethics, really the key points are that planning commissioners are prohibited from using your position to secure special privileges or receiving gifts from third parties for any matters relating to your planning commission services. And the city's code of conduct really boils down to the same thing: be appropriate and be professional in your role as a planning commissioner representing the city of Ridgefield. I'm happy to report that as long as I've been here, we haven't had any problems with this. So I don't expect there to be, but it does bear repeating that there is a formal state level code of ethics that we are bound to in these roles. All right, those are kind of the basics, but I will go back to the topic of making recommendations. It's really core to the work we do. It is your role and objective per state statute and per our practice as a city to make recommendations to council so that they can ultimately make well-informed policy decisions. So what that looks like in practice is, what's Planning Commission's recommendation, but beyond that, why? And I think that's something that as a group we've really improved at over time, is fleshing out those recommendations, having really good, clear explanations of how you got there, why that recommendation is made, having that on the record, and me having that to convey to council. Will they always go in line with your recommendations? No. They hear from a lot of stakeholders, but I will say that our council does respect both Planning Commission and the commissioners, as well as the process used to make decisions. So they take on board what Planning Commission has to say. It does make a difference in their decision-making process. As you know, I convey the recommendations of the council. I strive to do so in an objective manner, sharing what your recommendations are and why. This is a way to make sure that the recommendations of the group are being shared, not of any one or more individuals of the group. Although I will say if there's a topic with a lot of back and forth or it's a split issue, I certainly make note of that in conveying that information. And it's also my job to report back, and something I certainly strive to be more consistent about. What did council do with your recommendations? What was the ultimate outcome? To close that communication loop in what is really an iterative process between the Planning Commission and council. So those are our jobs. And with that, I just note that as we continue our work together, if there's ever anything I can do to help you do your job better, please let me know. And with that, I will turn it back to you, Chair Tyler, and see if there are any questions, comments, thoughts before we move forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Lust. Do any of the commissioners have any questions, comments, or thoughts on the role of we have as commissioners on the Planning Commission? Not seeing anything, I will turn the time back over to you, Ms. Lust.
Perfect. Thank you again, Chair Tyler. The second item on our agenda this evening is the 2026 Planning Commission Work Plan. It is in the packet before you as well as on the screen. And this really ties into what we just talked about in that statement earlier that council directs planning commission's projects. So every year, planning commission as well as our parks board prepare a work plan for the coming year, and that goes to council for approval. Why do we need their permission? Well, we want to make sure that planning commission isn't working on things that council's ultimately not interested in. Want to make sure we're using our time together wisely and supporting our council's policy goals and interests. Fortunately, we have plenty to keep us busy this coming year. So I will go ahead and present on a draft work plan I put together with some things I know that we'll need to be working on. We'll take any feedback discussion from the Planning Commission, and then our objective with this agenda item will be for Planning Commission to make a recommendation to council for their January 22nd meeting, where they will be reviewing and hopefully approving both the Planning Commission and Parks Board work plans for 2026. So those of you that are continuing Planning Commission members will see a pretty familiar document in front of you. I've split the draft work plan into three main sections, so major policy initiatives, collaboration and education, and then annual programs. So the first section, major policy initiatives, these are items under that umbrella of comprehensive plan updates and code work that I know we're going to need to work on in 2026, so I went ahead and put them on here. So they are very much centered around the comprehensive plan update. At this time last year, we all thought it would be done by now. The overall schedule is pushed back about 6 months for all jurisdictions in Clark County. So at this point, the anticipated adoption date is mid-2026, which means the first half of this year we will be working on the comp plan. So that's the first item. And what that will look like for Planning Commission is definitely at least one study session, presentation, public hearing, and recommendations to council as separate meeting items in the lead up to adoption. As part of the comp plan update, we are really, as our first implementation items, required to make any development code updates that the goals and policies in the comp plan, render necessary for our development code to make sense. And also to update our critical areas ordinance, which a few of you saw a first presentation on at the end of last year. So those are the two other rows in this major policy initiative section. Obviously, we're already working on the critical areas update. That'll continue to overlap with the comp plan. And then any code updates that come out of the adopted comp plan is something else we'll work on. As I was reviewing this, I realized I missed something, so I'm going to propose as part of this draft a row number 4 to major policy initiatives. Mayor Cole has an initiative for 2026 all about downtown preservation and revitalization. It is a pretty broad-reaching goal. He's calling it the RISE Initiative, which is an acronym, but I don't remember all 4 letters, so I'm not going to tell you what it stands for. But in any case, it's all about downtown, and one of the points under that RISE initiative is to update our downtown waterfront sub-area plan. So that is something we will be working on in 2026. All right, the next section, collaboration and education. This is more about, outside of our policy recommendations, making sure that you're being fed and staying interested and really feel fulfilled and educated in your role as a planning commissioner. So a few suggestions under here, the first of which connects to the previous items, which is a joint work session with council leading up to comp plan adoption. Identifying ongoing training and education opportunities. A couple of sort of community-facing items, tabling at State of the City, and then sending a representative to the annual Ridgefield Junction Neighborhood Association business meeting. And then every year or every couple years, as it sometimes happens, we do a development tour with Council, Planning Commission, and Parks Board, getting together on a C-Tran bus and driving around the town, kind of seeing what's going on and what's coming next. Everyone loves it, so we're going to keep doing it. And then finally, annual programs. This one's really obvious, but as discussed, we have to have a planning commission and do planning commission things. So this is our commitment to do that as required in the year 2026. That means meeting monthly. We get maximum of three buys a year, basically. So meeting here together between 9 and 12 times during the upcoming year. So with that, I will once again hand this back to you, Chair Tyler. Look forward to any input the commission may have on this work program. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Lust. Do any of the commissioners have any thoughts or comments regarding the work plan for the year that they would like to share? Go ahead.
Yeah, I have a question about the tabling. This is new to me, so I'd love to hear a little bit more about what that is.
Pardon me, the tabling
Yeah.
at State of the City?
Yeah, tabling at State of the City, Neighborhood Association. There's
Sure.
a couple different things. That
Yeah,
we're talking about.
so last year was the first year that the city did this, but we had a kind of an open house before the State of the City address down at Ridgefield High School, where different city departments, as well as Planning Commission, Parks Board, Council, had tables, and we invited people who are going to be attending the State of the City to show up early and walk around and get to know their city through its people a little better. So we had a few of us there last year, and it was really nice. Talk to some folks that we probably wouldn't have otherwise. So I'd like to do that again. And then the Ridgefield Junction Neighborhood Association is a business association centered around the freeway junction. And they have a big meeting every May where a lot of people, get up and talk, give updates. The city's there. It's just sort of one of the city's regular touch points for its elected officials, business community, et cetera. So I'd like to have some presence there this year, even if it's just to listen.
Is there a downtown business association?
Ridgefield has a Chamber of Commerce, and Ridgefield Main Street is a nonprofit organization focused on downtown. So they kind of overlap the downtown area, both of them do, but there isn't a standalone business association like the Junction one. There's not quite an equal comparison there. Oh, looks like Commissioner Moreland has his hand raised.
I did. Thank you. So if you could just give us a little background as to why all the municipalities in the county delayed their comprehensive plans by 6 months. I'm curious as to what was behind that.
Yeah, so there was additional work that needed to be done to inform the basically the land use options at the county level, which then feeds down to each of the cities in the county. A big part of that was the mandate from County Council to engage an agricultural resource land study, which was deemed necessary as a piece of information to allow County Council to make an informed decision on a preferred land use alternative, but did ultimately add time to the process. That was a key driver. Thank you.
Okay. All right, thank you.
I had a question about, when it says the planning commission will conduct public hearings, I was just curious what that looks like in general. That's the first item on the.
Yeah, absolutely. So as we work towards our end goal being adoption of a comp plan, I'm still putting together the pieces for what our interim steps are to get to that. At a minimum, major policy recommendations such as this are required to go through hearings at both Planning Commission and City Council. So procedurally, what that looks like is, for something like this, typically like a work session presentation with Planning Commission, followed by a public hearing at Planning Commission, then a recommendation to Council, then Council holds a hearing, then Council makes a decision, is the typical order of operations there. Like I said, I'm still figuring out how to strike a balance between bringing Planning Commission and Council like every part of the plan for a public hearing and just dumping it all on you and saying, hey, have a hearing. There is a middle ground there. I'm figuring it out, but there will be at least one public hearing at Planning Commission that serves as feedback to funnel up to Council for their action on the comp plan.
And does that take place during normal planning commission?
Yes,
meeting time?
it
Okay.
does.
All right.
If no one else has any additional questions, I have an additional question. As it relates to code updates that come out of the comprehensive plan, it specifically references Title 18, and I know that's sort of our scope, that's sort of your scope, but there are other code titles that are in there that have direct impacts to implementing the comprehensive plan. Things like urban forestry and like engineering design standards, things that should tie back to development standards. Are those going to be brought forward in terms of update timelines at the same time that Title 18 is being updated? And will Planning Commission have an opportunity to weigh in that as well?
Sure. So to answer the first part of that question, your point is actually absolutely correct that the planning updates of the comp plan and the parks and transportation and public facilities updates are very much intertwined. Where we're coordinating is at that policy level. So in 2024, our staff updated the Parks and Trails Plan, updated the Transportation Capital Facilities Plan, as well as the water and stormwater plans, with the idea being that the planning horizon for all of those and the comp plan are all on basically the same schedule, so through 2045. So they are coordinated at that policy level, and then the implementation happens under that umbrella. So for example, our engineering team did a big update and refresh to the development engineering standards in 2025, 2024 to 2025. So will those come at the exact same time as the Title 18? Not necessarily, but their guiding plans are on the same path. So we feel pretty confident they'll be coordinated in that way. And as to how Planning Commission is involved, typically our work is limited to updates to Title 18. Sometimes we'll be working on a topic and there's like a couple one-off updates that need to be made to other code sections to support that work in Title 18, and I would package that together for you, but typically it is focused on the development code.
Any other thoughts or comments or questions from any of the commissioners? My only comment, I think that jumped out to me, because I think I said this last year too, with the training. I think that's an important aspect of our work to help us all to be better and better understand the city. And so that kind of jumped out, because I know I was the chair all last year as well, and then didn't really do any training. And I think when I read it and it says work with staff, I just kind of, I think we left it to wait for staff to do it. And so that's something hopefully I can be more active and engaged in trying to find opportunities where we can get some training, maybe on a quarterly basis. I mentioned this at a meeting several months ago where I reached out to the director of Public Works, and he was very happy to have me come over for several hours and would have kept talking to me because he loves the stormwater system very much. And so, but it was a really interesting experience to just go sit with him and talk about stormwater systems, talk about sidewalks, and learn more about, while not really within our scope, it's tangential and impacted by our scope. And so it's good to get better acquainted with some other aspects of the city, and I think that could be a good place to start there. So with that, do we have a motion? And just as a note, I believe since it wasn't included here, would the motion then need to also include a recommendation is to add the RISE aspect of,
Yeah.
if that's something that somebody making a motion would desire to do?
Yes, if that is the case, I would suggest language along the lines of motion to recommend approval of the 2026 Planning Commission work plan amended to include the downtown sub-area plan update.
Commissioner Borkart, ditto exactly what Ms. Luss said. Motion.
Second.
We have a motion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. I understand this will be presented on, I believe I read January 22nd?
Yes, January 22nd, and Chair Tyler, as you know, they like to hear from our chair, so I will connect with you, but I am hoping you have some availability on that day to make a brief presentation, and I will be there as well.
Excellent. And like I promised to come last year, this time I'll actually show up. So I will be there. Thank you. With that, I believe that concludes our business. So we will move into the second public comment period for the evening. Anyone requesting to speak to the commission may do so at this time. If you have not provided notice in advance to speak during the public comment period, you can use the raise hand feature if you're on the Zoom, and the clerk will send you permission to unmute your microphone so you're able to make your comments. If you are over the phone, please press *9 to raise your hand, or press *6 to mute and unmute. And if you're in the audience, you're welcome to just come to the podium and make a comment at this time on anything you so desire. I'm not seeing anyone on Zoom or on the phone or audience. Okay. Then we will close our public comment period. And turn the time now back to Ms. Luss for staff reports.
Thank you. Just want to say Happy New Year to everyone, and I'm looking forward to our work together this year. The years always go by so quick, but we do a lot, and I appreciate this group and your engagement with all the topics we touch. Speaking of which, a couple updates on items that you looked at late 2025. Council did adopt in their first December meeting code updates, the package that had a good chunk in it about residential code and housing uses. So there are a couple items in there about like ADUs, duplex, triplex, to improve the processes around getting those middle housing products built that they did approve. That batch had a bunch of other stuff in it too, a lot of housekeeping items. So that was ultimately approved by council. We have one more batch of code updates. It's the one that had the sign topics in it, as well as a few other miscellaneous items. I'm currently looking to bring that back to council for approval. They already had a hearing on the first meeting in February. Yeah, I think that's all I have. Thanks.
Thank you. Now is our time to have any reports from commissioners. We'll start with Commissioner Glavin, since move down this way then.
No reports, just Happy New Year, and want to welcome all the new commissioners to the Planning Commission. It's going to be an exciting year working on the comp plan.
Thank you. Vice Chair Flynn.
Thank you, Chair Tyler, and once again, congratulations to you for a well-fought election and earning the vote of everyone. Congratulations. A couple things. Happy New Year to everyone. The new roundabout art is that 50th, wherever you turn to Costco. That is awesome. And I know there were students involved and some local businesses involved. So job well done, everybody, as far as I can tell. I attended the tree lighting, which was awesome. And I know I ran into a lot of people down there. And congratulations to our new members. This is the first time I remember having 3 new members at one time. So if you're intimidated by anything at all, as Ms. Luss pointed out, this is going to be a busy, especially the first half of the year. So if you are nervous about anything, Chair Tyler is here. If you need anything from him. Thanks to the members of the public who are here, especially a distinguished member of the student body up at Ridgefield High School. And thanks to our city staff for preparing us. Thank you.
Thank you, Vice Chair Flynn. Commissioner Borchardt.
No new updates on my end, but also, as Commissioner Glavin said, Happy New Year and congratulations to our 3 new commissioners. Welcome aboard.
Thank you.
Commissioner Gordon.
Just want to say I'm really happy to be here. I'm looking forward to the work, and I think, I'm just excited to be part of the learning and growing and supporting this community. And I appreciate getting to know everybody as that happens. And Happy New Year to everybody, too. Thank you.
Thank you. And I hope I say this correctly, Commissioner Rakzak.
I'll take this opportunity. It's a weird pronunciation. The C is silent, 'cause that's how my Polish great-grandparents decided to Americanize Rasik. So, Razak, thank you for asking. Nothing to report just yet on day 1, but I will echo Commissioner Gordon's sentiment. I'm thrilled to be here and joining the work of the commission. Looking forward to getting to know you all and digging into the last little bit of the comp plan updates. That's exciting stuff. So thank you all for the warm welcome.
Thank you. Commissioner Moylan.
I have nothing in addition to what's already been said to add. So just thank you and happy to be on the commission. Actually excited, but looking forward to advancing the comprehensive plan forward.
Thank you. Echo everyone here and welcoming all 3 of you again. Happy to have you on board. Looking forward to get to know you better. I will say that everything I have learned, I've learned from Vice Chair Flynn, who has been on the commission for quite a long time. So he is also a great resource, but everyone here is also very happy to help. And as I said, looking forward to working with you going forward. Also, as always, thank you to the staff and everyone here for everything you do to get us prepared and make this easy for us. And very happy to have some members from the local schools, I'm sure, here for their deep interest in public engagement and not for a school assignment. So happy to have you all here and welcome, and hope you can make it out again in the future. I believe with that, we will adjourn.